Welcome to the Dojotalkpodcast. Please remove them shoes before entry.
Sam Master is here, and you still have not taken off your shoes.
Yeah. Living every day to define man's mission. Looking to the sky for divine transmission. Deaf man's vision makes the blind man listen. Eyes on the prize, this is blind ambition. Thank you.
Welcome to another edition of the Dojo Talk Podcast. We're on episode number 81. I'm once again joined with my co-host Antaku. What's going on, man?
I'm reading this article about this dude named Ryan Fish from Connecticut, who was a substitute teacher, who had his classroom start a fight club.
I'm guessing that didn't end well.
Ended with 2 counts of injury to a minor, 1 count of second-degree breach of peace, and 4 counts of reckless endangerment. So, nah.
Jesus Christ.
My favorite part is his excuse. Wait. Where is it? The truth is, I'm an idiot and I wanted to befriend them. And I'm immature.
I mean, at least he admitted it.
Among the other allegations levied at Fish in the official arrest warrant is that he initiated one of the fights by saying 1, 2, 3, and then said round 2 after one of the participants had to pause because they thought they were going to vomit.
Oh my god. Oh man. I mean, at least he was honest about it. That's
Okay, I'm sorry. Then we get to they buried the lead here because other allegations include that Fish asked students to add him on Snapchat. and that he allowed them to draw obscene images, some depicting another teacher, on the whiteboard.
Hey, what's his name again?
Ryan Fish, and he looks exact.
Oh Lord, I typed in Google and it auto-populated.
He looks like.
He looks like he would start a fight club.
He does not. He does not look all that bright.
He looks like when Macaulay Culkin started to get older. he looks around that ballpark.
He looks like he carries around tiki torches.
Yeah, that's a guy. He screams sketch.
His fucking sweater and his mugshot. It's throwing me off.
Oh my god. Oh man, it
looks like he's already been in jail for like years because his eyes look. He looks like he just got done crying.
No, I think his eyes are just low. He definitely has substance abuse.
He definitely would have got his ass kicked by one of those kids.
That is wild. I don't even know how to follow that up.
I mean, this isn't the first. Did you hear about the preschool fight club from a few years ago?
I think I did. God, what is going on? Oh,
where that one lady made that little kid armbar her kid.
What is going on?
Dude, it's like Dana always says, fighting is in our blood.
I wonder, did it last long enough? Was there like a Fight Club champ?
I mean,
or
like I would put that on my resume. Like I was the Fight Club champ. Well, I was 4 years old.
Hey, man.
I'm mad there's no footage because I'm looking at the preschool one and they're just standing outside the place, like just like filming stuff. I'm like, come on, show me some fights. I came here to watch children beat each other up.
Oh man, that's how you kick off the weekend.
It's like football. Like college football is Saturday night or whenever it is, I don't know. And then like some real football's on Sunday. You got your like children fighting during the week. Your regional or your college level dudes fighting on Friday, and then you got the UFC on like Saturday. And then
Oh,
at the
man,
very
that would've been,
top, we have KSW on Sunday.
Put that on Fight Pass. We need these we need the next crop of MMA superstars starting off in middle
I mean,
school.
like that, there was no way that kid was gonna break the other kid's elbow though, with that armbar, because as a kid, the joints are all like not developed yet. So like they're basically octopi.
Oh man, that teacher though. You guys have to. If you guys just look up Ryan Fish Fight Club and just look at that mugshot and let me know if you would invite him to the family birthday party for your.
He looks like a murderer. Like,
He's definitely like walking into your party. He's taking your cake, and he's gonna duck off in a corner somewhere, and all the drinks you had are magically gonna end
like
up
he's
missing.
the dude who goes to the house party and then just like leaves with like the toilet paper.
Right.
He's like, I don't got any at home. Somebody just take yours. That's a face that lacks empathy.
Very much so. Very much so. Yeah, it's been another kind of mad, man. We went like 3 good days of really great weather, and now it's like rainy and kind of not so good
Yeah.
outside. But make the best of it. I do plan on using this. Shout out to T-Mobile for this $5 ticket they gave me. So I'm probably gonna put that to use today and go see Ready Player One.
Ew.
Just to get out the house.
Ew. Ew. Ew.
Hey man, I'm easily entertained, and that movie screams
I have the
entertainment.
book
So I'm
somewhere
gonna
around here. Like if it's within kicking distance.
go.
But
Oh
it's
man,
terrible.
the movie.
I haven't seen the movie, but the book is legitimately one of the worst things. So like, you know the stereotypes about nerds by people who aren't nerds, like
Oh, is that the whole?
like about how not like the old '80s stereotype where they're all like geeky and like socially awkward, but like in a charming way. Like the part where
Yeah.
like they're really creepy and they don't know they're being creepy, and they're really possessive of like women they don't know. It's kind of like that.
Oh man.
There's a whole point to the book where like the kid just like describes masturbation, and then they describes like stalking this chick to her house, and like playing music on the stereo and just like screaming.
I'm gonna hope the masturbation scene did not make it.
I
to
mean,
the movie.
probably not, but like if born of that source material, like I can still see like the creepy shit creeping itself in.
Oh, the trailer did enough that it looked like for $5. I think I would be entertained for an hour and a half, and hopefully not want to scream or.
Yeah,
kick the
I'd
shit.
probably go see it if it didn't look so gray. I'm like, oh, we have all these characters, and they're all going to be like a gray amorphous blob where you can barely see the details because we don't want to, pay for color.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I'll let you know what happens after I leave the theater.
That's my major issue with Hollywood right now. They make everything gray.
Hollywood has a lot. That's a whole nother episode of issues. But before we get started covering fights and such, always got to give out our plugs. So this podcast can be listened to on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes. If you're on iTunes, rate and subscribe. And shout outs to, I think we got a few more reviews, a few more 5 stars. So shout outs to whoever you fine folks were who left us some 5-star ratings. Appreciate it. iTunes, Google Play. You can hit us up on Facebook at the Facebook page, Dojo Talk Podcast. And you can send emails to dojotalkpodcast@yahoo.com. And my computer is doing stupid stuff that I'm saying no to. This loud noise. And you can hit me up on Twitter. Follow me at Serial Sensei. And real quick, let's go through the top cities and countries. And also shout outs to the Tumblr fan base. appreciate you guys. I feel like I don't shout y'all out enough for supports and likes and reblogs, all that good stuff. Top 7 countries who have been tuning in for this last week. The U.S. holding strong at number 1. Number 2, we got Germany. Number 3, we got Egypt. Number 4, we got India. And coming in at number 5, we got the UK. And the top cities that have tuned in. Rather interesting list. Number 1, Berlin, Germany. Number 2, Cairo, Egypt. Number 3, Centerville, Maryland. Number 4, Monticello, New York, if I'm saying that right.
Monticello?
And Cello, there we go. Coming in at number 4. And number 5 is this Passaic, New Jersey.
Hey! That's literally
Yep.
right. Like, I can see Passaic from my house right now.
There you go. 3 people on that street.
I'm assuming it was my brother.
I think it was because I saw a top listener list, and one of them had your last name.
Yeah.
So I'm going to assume that was him. So shout outs to you guys. Definitely appreciate the support, and appreciate everybody who listened to the last episode, which drug out for a very
I mean,
long
if you get
time.
really high and you close your eyes, isn't the same thing?
But the numbers show, man, this episode is doing really good. So I don't know, maybe these 3-hour episodes is somehow the move.
Dude,
I don't know.
it's a lot of content.
It is.
I was gonna say something else positive about it, but I froze up.
Oh man, it is a lot of content, for better and worse. It's just a lot of it's a lot going on. I guess before we get started into the fights, I gotta recap my weekend real quick because I had a pretty interesting weekend. I went to my first MMA fight. Also learned some things about myself this weekend. I don't, even though I spent a lot of my childhood in Baltimore City, every time I go downtown, I realize I'm not a city person. Like, I wasn't even driving and I was getting uncomfortable in the car. Like, just the amount of people and bodies, and I get it, like yesterday was also the Light Festival, so I know a lot of people were down there for that. It was so much going on, man. It was like uncomfortable almost. Like it's too. I'm not a city person. There's too many bodies, too many people. It's too much going on at one time. But and we tried to go eat at Five Guys, and the line was like out the door.
Yeah.
So we had to settle for Subway. I mean, I like Subway, but I kind of wanted Five Guys, but it wasn't gonna happen. So that was cool though. You know, downtown Baltimore is, you know, it's pretty cool. I just don't like thousands of people gathered in one place. It makes me uncomfortable. But I went to Shogun Fights, XVV, 18, whatever it was, at the Royal Farms Arena. So it was my first time seeing MMA up close and personal. Things I've learned. Taking elderly black gentlemen to fights. Well, I didn't have one in my group, but there was one sitting behind me. It was a great experience. I don't think this guy ever saw an MMA fight before, but it was just hilarious, as he didn't know how many rounds there were. And like the first fight that we saw when we got there was kind of like a wall install / like lay and pray fest. And just imagine, I'm gonna say like a 50-year-old black guy, probably from like Mississippi, so somewhere in the southern region, watching that, and he's talking to like his niece or nephew or somebody in his role, and he's like, "How many rounds is this? This better not be 12 rounds." They were like, "No, it's only 3." And he was like, "Hey man, I swear if this goes 6 rounds, slap the hell out of one of y'all." So I sat behind this guy or he was sitting behind me like the whole night. It was hilarious commentary. We all were laughing. It was a good time. Fights were okay. Unfortunately, my friend Scott Noble dropped a loss, TKO in the second round. But I have to issue a gripe. Like 2 seconds left in the round, and all right. So I'm trying to think of how to explain this. So there were 2 seconds left in the round. The guy who was fighting had like just got full mount, and I'm trying to think of a UFC fight. I know there's a UFC fight where this happened. I can't like think of it off the top of my head. You've seen it before, like a dude's throwing ground and pound, and the guy on the bottom is like, it looks weird when they're bobbing and weaving like
Right.
from their back. So he was kind of doing that. Like he wasn't bloody at all, and I talked to him after the fight, looked at his face, like not really any marks on his face. Like literally after he got mounted, and the guy like started landing just a semblance of ground and pound, even though he bobbed and weaved out of most of it. 2 seconds left, Ruff still stops it. The crowd wasn't happy. We weren't happy. To be honest, we almost left the arena after that fight, but there were like 2 more, so we stayed and watched another one. But yeah, my friend unfortunately dropped a loss, but I got a chance to talk to him after the fight. We hung out after the fight. Still in good spirits, so that was good. So shout out to my friend Scott Noble. I also got a chance to see a super heavyweight MMA fight in person, and that was interesting. I can actually say, though, it was not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Then you didn't get the real experience.
Like, I think one of the first guy was 275. I can't remember how much the other guy weighed. But they looked every bit of 275. But, like, for their size, like, one of the big guys was moving. Like, he was, like, his ground game was pretty good. He was passing guards. I mean, by the third round, you could tell definitely it was a jiggly weight fight. You were reminded that it was heavyweight MMA. Like, there was a long stretch where I think one of them got a takedown, and I think they both agreed that we just going to go to sleep. And they just kind of sat there for a little bit. But, like, they slugged it out for the first 2 rounds. So, I don't remember their names because I don't have the card pulled up in front of me. But shout outs to those gentlemen. Super heavyweight regional MMA. It was... Oh, and I can confirm, I thought this was just on TV, but this is real life. Heavyweights take 30 seconds to fall. It's not just TV. They really do take 30 seconds to hit the ground.
When you get hit and you 6'6" and you got like 350 pounds on you, it takes a while for your legs to catch up what's happening with your brain.
Yeah. It's like, every slam or every like knockdown, it was so bizarre to see like how long it took them to hit the ground. But I mean, overall, the night didn't go the way we wanted because my friend lost. But like, I'm glad I got a chance to see MMA in person now. It's pretty awesome, like hearing people's intros over the loudspeakers. Crowd gets hyped when like certain songs play. Leg kicks are very loud in an arena. I thought that was just TV too. No, the leg kicks are definitely thudding when those land. But it was cool, Got a chance to hang out with some friends. Saw some fights, laughed at elderly black gentlemen doing commentary. So, it was what it was. It wasn't the best night because it didn't go the way we wanted, but glad I got the experience nonetheless. But that's that. So we will get into news and nuggets of fights and other announcements that have been going on throughout the week.
I forgot, not to throw you off right there, I forgot, because we mentioned pre-show that there's also a Bellator card that went on.
Oh, yeah, I do have that up. We'll breeze through that real quick before we start the other card. Because there's some stuff on that card worth mentioning. But other fight announcements and things that have happened. All right, so we got Rafael Assunção and Rob Font will be going down at UFC 226. Ricardo Lamas and Mirsad Bektic at UFC 225. Megan Anderson versus Holly Holm at 225. Brandon Moreno and Ray Borg. That fight has been rebooked for UFC Chile. Gokhan Saki, Khalil Roundtree. That fight has been rebooked for UFC 226. Invicta FC signs undefeated prospect Jessica Correa Delboni. If I'm pronouncing that right.
I didn't see that.
Volkan. All right, we got to stop on this one for just a little bit. Volkan Oezdemir is out of the co-main event against Shogun Rua. due to his pending felony assault charges. And I'm wondering how the UFC thought that this man would be allowed to leave the country with a pending felony assault charge. Like, is nobody who's doing the homework when they're doing these matchmaking? Like,
I think their thought process was like mine is like was Uzdemir even a U.S. citizen? Like, won't they just like send him back to crap, I forget where he's from, Latvia or something?
that's the, but yeah, we're that fight's being taken from us. Somebody didn't do their homework, but whatever. That happened.
Oh, you sound very upset about it.
I was slightly looking forward to that fight for some reason. I don't know why. You know what? I think I'm interested to see if Shogun. Oh, all right. I can't say interested. He is a top 5 light heavyweight, regardless of how we may feel about that. But I wanted to see is he really going to complete another title run? Like, is this? I wanted to see if it was going to be real. I feel like if he would have won that fight, he's pretty much right there. I don't know, old man comeback story, I guess. But that's put on hold. Gabriel Benitez versus Humberto Bandone. I don't have what event that's on.
UFC Chile.
Also on UFC Chile. And Bellator news, Patricio Pitbull, Daniel Weichel going down at Bellator 203. That should be pretty fun. And in boxing news, Tyson Fury will be coming back on June 9th. Opponent yet to be named. I want to go back up real quick. How do you feel about the Megan Anderson-Holly Holm match?
It makes sense. Like, Anderson can win it just because Holm has like gigantic flaws in like her game, and like is that the like Anderson can match her on volume and length, not technique, but she's also pretty athletic. Like, she's a surprisingly good athlete for like a 6-foot woman with like no real background. I think she just got into MMA to lose weight or something. Like, it makes sense. Like, Holm Cyborg was the biggest fight the UFC had last year that didn't involve John Jones or Conor McGregor putting on the boxing gloves. So I guess they see it as a win-win. Anderson wins and they have like another Australian contender, someone they could put on a Robert Whittaker undercard, like for like, and Anderson's strangely charismatic. She got voted like Bellator's most popular, not Bellator, Invicta's most popular fighter her last year there, despite only having like one fight that year. So like, she has that going for her. And if Holm wins, they get a rematch of their biggest fight from last year that didn't involve John Jones in DC.
So my immediate reaction, I was kind of 50-50. I think only because, but then it's kind of hard to say because at 145 pickings are extremely slim, like extremely slim. So I'm like, there was only a set number of people she could have fought anyway. I guess my fear was you throw her in with Holly. I feel like at this point you want new faces to fight Cyborg, but I didn't really look at it from a numbers perspective. To be honest, I forgot how well. I didn't even know how well or how not well that fight.
I mean, like, you gotta remember, there were people who I'm gonna say were Holly Holm fans, maybe like Holly Ronda fans or something like that watched the Cyborg fight and thought that Holly Holm won and was robbed.
Yeah, no, that's
and you, like, we, the guys who watch everything, we're gonna watch this fight regardless. So like, if they can get Holm back in there after like a legitimate win, and Anderson's like the 3rd best featherweight on the planet.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess, like, immediate reaction, I was like, man, I feel like it was a bit of a risky fight for Anderson. Big competition.
Oh, absolutely is.
But then at the same time, it's like, picking is slim. And then I also thought, you know what? It is a big leap in competition. But Holly Holm also sometimes doesn't perform to the best that we know she can all the time. And I think Megan could be able to exploit that, and like I still think she has a lot going for her. She is a big 45er. She is every bit of 145. She's very long. She's very powerful. So like her winning this fight is not far fetched or a stretch of the imagination.
I'm looking at this 225 card, and it is stacked. Like you got Whitaker, Romero 2, RDA Covington, Holm, Anderson, Overeem, Blades, CM Punk, Jackson, Benavides, Pettis, Goodella, Esparza, Arlovsky, Tuivasa, like Ricardo Lamas is fighting on the prelims, the Bektik fight, because Rashad Evans is fighting Anthony Smith in like the opener on Fox Sports 1. Like that's 2 top 10-ish featherweights right there.
Pray to the MMA gods that card holds it together, and we don't have another one of them incidents, and we lose a lot of violence that we were owed.
Apparently, Conor wanted to fight RDA. That was the thing they were talking about. So I won't be surprised if he shows up in Chicago, and we get some more hand dolly action.
So hold on, is the Chicago card complete?
It looks like it has like what 5, 9, 12 fights already.
You guys need to get Shorty Torres on there, man.
Yeah, that sucks.
I gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop playing around, man. Get that man. Get this man a fight.
Like, do we really need Rashad Coulter versus Alan Crowder on there?
Like, let Torres come in. It's a guaranteed fun fight if you put him on the card. Like in the hometown, like you can't lose if you. I don't know. I had to throw some Twitter rage at somebody. They probably won't listen.
Right.
Well, we got to get Shorty.
The fact that Torres is in the UFC kind of just underlines my thought process in that they don't really care about flyweight.
Yeah.
And that sucks because I think that like maybe down the road when like the dude is, more what's the word I'm looking for? Like crafted as a fighter. Like when he's more of a final product, like I think he can go up and compete at bantamweight. Like he was saying, like they hit a little hard now for him, and they're a little big, and he tires out a little quicker because he has to grapple with them. So
yeah, we'll see though. But y'all need to get this man.
Yeah, like for real.
But that's pretty much all of the most of the news.
Whoa! You missed one.
What we skipping?
Brock Lesnar.
Oh,
he's back, kind of, but he's back.
I purposely didn't write that one down.
So much hate for our next heavyweight champion.
You know what? And the thing is, I've defended Brock a lot because I feel like he gets a lot of flack. I've for Brock before, but in this instance, man, I'm not mad at him being back. You want to throw him back? You got $4 billion to make up. I get it. You gotta do something to make all that money back. But I don't want to see Brock in any title fights and then failing the USADA test and then we get another. I don't know. But then you got Ngannou calling him out. If they want to do Ngannou Lesnar, I guess I'm kind of for it. I'd rather that than him just jump into a title fight. I think that's kind of whack. If he just get a title, if he just off rip gets a title fight, I like the Ngannou fight. If he wins that and you want to give him a title shot, sure, whatever. Heavyweight MMA is heavyweight MMA. Do they have rules up there? I don't even know. Nobody knows what goes on.
Heavyweight MMA is a completely different sport than regular MMA.
They don't abide by the same rules. It's not. Everything's just different. Poor Volkov if Lesnar just gets a title shot and Volkov's been out here.
Fairness, I think Lesnar would probably beat the crap out of Volkov.
Maybe, possibly. But he would fail his drug test afterwards.
I mean, yeah. So it would be like it didn't happen.
Right. But yeah, the Brock thing. I'm like I said, I'm not against him being back, but you know, just don't. If USADA comes to your door, don't run the
He
hide
had an
under secret
exemption,
bunker.
so it's okay.
So they say.
He had a 4-month window. Listen. When you can't hold it against Brock that he's juicing. His boss is Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon was on trial with the U.S. government because he was forcing his sports entertainers to juice.
Oh,
This
man.
was a thing that happened. He was like, imagine if Dana got caught supplying like freaking Alistair Overeem with like steroids.
he was the one bringing in the
Exactly.
horse meat. Oh man.
Like,
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, to be honest, regardless, I might be complaining about this, but if he comes back, I'm watching because I'm just
I'm
intrigued.
90% sure, like, when, like, Brock was at the contract signing right before WrestleMania, like, Vince, like, walked in with, like, a needle and was just like, you have to juice. Before I sign this contract, you have to juice.
Well, from what I heard at WrestleMania, he was looking a little flabby.
Uh,
So somebody was saying. So the little, they from what I heard, word on the street,
it-
it looked like he was cycling off.
Probably. He
And
also was very upset with the audience because they were booing his entire match.
I heard
Like,
it
the
was
last
trash.
hour of WrestleMania was bad. Like really bad. Like, but that's what happens. We have like a 7-hour show, so I can't really blame them, like, for booing, especially because they.
Yeah, I think after like 4 hours, I'm out of there.
I mean, I love me a good night of wrestling as much as anybody else, but that's extra. And most of the crowd had been like there all week, going to like small wrestling shows and like just partying it up, so they were probably burnt by Sunday night.
Yeah. Quality over quantity.
WWE doesn't believe in that. They never learn.
But, yeah. So that's the thing. Brock coming back, but that's all the news notes and nuggets. Before we get to the UFC card, though, Bellator 197 did go down on April 13th, headlined by Michael Chandler and late replacement Brandon Gertz. I guess we'll quickly run through this card because there were some things of note. Main event: Michael Chandler, Brandon Gertz. Chandler won via arm triangle choke in the first round. Gertz was holding his own on the feet, but my God, as soon as Chandler got him down, that was a wrap, pretty much. So the only thing left is for Chandler to fight the GOAT, Bellator's winter soldier, Brent Primus, who's somewhere out in the world. I don't know what he's doing, but he's out there somewhere.
I'm still not convinced he's real.
Yeah, he might not be. That first fight might have just been like a Matrix simulation in that computer program that Morpheus and Neo were in. Yeah, I don't know. Primus, man, you gotta get out of here, man. Like we gotta see you out in public, doing stuff to remember that you're a real person, that you actually have a belt. But that main event came and went. Co-main event was AJ McKee and Justin Lawrence. This was a pretty fun fight, probably McKee's toughest test to date, which he definitely passed. He looked pretty good. Lawrence might have did better if he didn't have the mullet. That's another conversation for another day. But shout outs to AJ McKee. Logan Storley versus Joaquin Buckley. Probably not. It's weird saying this. That is not Storley's best performance, even though he won 30-27, 30-26, 30-26.
But yeah.
But it was not the most. And I know Storley as a wrestler, and most of his fights do tend to go the takedown route. But a lot of the other fights I've seen from him, like he takes you down and punishes you for it. This one wasn't exciting as some of his other outings, but got a victory nonetheless. And Baby Slice, Kimbo's son, Kevin Ferguson Jr., defeated Devin Brock via submission after he rocked him with a right hand and then subbed him, and that was all within 34 seconds. So shout outs to Baby Slice. Juliana Velasquez defeated Rebecca Ruth via KO with a body kick. It was kind of a weird finishing sequence. Because I think people thought it was a low blow, and then it just ended up finishing the fight. But
do we ever get that question answered about whether women have low blows? And
I've heard they do. I feel like I've seen this before, though. There was at least one UFC fight where I think they did consider one of them.
I think it was the what was her name? Joanne Calderwood, Valerie Letourneau fight. Was that it, or was that just because her like?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
But there was at least one though, and I'm pretty sure they do consider them. They do have low blows, but this one was definitely a body kick. I feel like the toe like caught her like liver, I don't know, solar plexus, whatever that region. Dominic Mazzata defeated Josh Sampo via unanimous decision.
UFC veteran Josh Sampo.
That was one of my names was familiar. Derek Anderson had a very fun fight with Zach Busia, if I'm saying that right. Won via unanimous decision. That was an awesome fight. You guys should definitely check that out. And Eric Ellington defeated Jordan Howard via split decision. So that was Bellator 197.
Whoa. You're forgetting one, my man. The homie, Adam Sella, was on this card.
They do not have him listed on this.
He was on the dark belt.
I'm gonna say they do not have him on here at all.
Sorry, Adam.
My bad, Adam. That is not my fault. I'm on MMAfighting.com. They don't have you on here. You might want to write an angry letter to somebody.
I only know because I'm looking at the Wikipedia page and saying he won, which good for him.
There you go. So shout out to Adam. Winning the bouts in the dark.
That's good because I think he was like on a 6-fight losing streak or something.
Oh, and they took that away from him. Oh, that sucks. That sucks. But that was Bellator 197. Pretty good card. Definitely, if you guys didn't get a chance to check it, go check that out. So I guess we will just get on to the main event of the evening. UFC on Fox 29, Poirier versus Gaethje. This went down in Glendale, Arizona. So I'm going to have to throw out a disclaimer for this card real quick. So being that I was out pretty much all Saturday night, I caught none of this card in real time. So I didn't get a chance to watch many of these fights more than once. Normally I watch these fights at least like 2, sometimes even 3 times. Most of these fights I only saw once. Some of them I watched twice, so I apologize if my memory is a bit shoddy, but the show must go on, as they say. So let's start it from the top. Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, main event. I feel like any time with a Gaethje fight, whatever you imagine in your head that's gonna happen in terms of violence is probably gonna happen. Regardless if you're picking him to win or lose. This fight was no different. I was really, I mean, what can, like, I don't know what to say. Poirier, and it's funny because we talked about him prior to recording this list, and we'll get into that a bit later. But Poirier, since coming to 155, has been just awesome to watch. Like, win or lose, the dude is like revitalized his career. He just looks really great at 155. We all know Gaethje is just an animal. Like the dude just isn't human. So this fight the only way this fight could go is just extremely violent, and that's pretty much what it was. Always loved Gaethje's use of leg kicks that he just seems to catch everybody with in any of his fights, whether the UFC or if you watched any of his old WSOF fights. Leg kicks are always a major factor, and he just batters dudes with leg kicks. But Dustin, I thought, did a good job of just clean boxing, a very diverse boxing set. A lot of like he would do combinations of like touch, touch, touch. Then he would throw like a power shot, jabs, hooks, uppercuts, just a full arsenal of hands on display. I thought his technique was just a bit cleaner than Gaethje's and a lot more, a bit more fluid, a bit more combination heavy. But I'm always amazed, even though I've seen it countless times, at how much Gaethje keeps pressure and just doesn't let you breathe. No matter how many times you hit this man in the face, he's still throwing leg kicks. He's still countering. This fight went on for 4 rounds, and like there were no points at all where anybody was able to take a break. Really, like it was just nonstop back and forth. But like I said, I think Poirier, like I said, just a bit more diverse with his hands. Heavy with combinations. Like I said, a lot of like touch, 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 then a power shot here or there. And then my God, that last finishing sequence, really the entire fourth round, he kind of just went Super Saiyan and put the pause on Gaethje. He cleaned him with I remember if it was a right or a left, but he gave him a little mini stanky leg moment. he Gaethje just finally, I guess, his tank was finally empty after 4 rounds of just violence, and Poirier just poured it on him. And just really good win for Poirier, man. Like I said, at 155, this guy has just completely like revitalized his career. He's looked really good against a lot of the better fighters in the division. I'm not sure if he will get a title shot off of this, but I gotta imagine he's somewhere in the conversation. Just awesome fight, man. Really awesome fight. This you knew what you were gonna get coming into this, and it pretty much delivered.
Yeah. Again, Gaethje's like for all the brawling talk, like Gaethje's number one thing is that he is one of the best leg kickers in MMA. Which makes him probably one of the best leg kickers in North America, or I should say the U.S. Considering how bad our kickboxing / Muay Thai scene is, but like his ability to kick from everywhere, like he'll kick you in the, he'll hit you with a round kick, like around like in the clinch. That's like imagine having a double collar tie on somebody and then just leg kicking them. Like, that's the type of stuff Gaethje does. And for like literally up until Poirier landed that like really smooth counter left hand down the middle. I thought Gaethje was gonna win the fight. Like I had the fight 29-27, I think. If that equals like 2 10-9s for Poirier, 1 9-9 round because of the point being taken away. I'll get that in a second. But like I like the fight was like all the momentum was going in Gaethje's favor. Like Poirier was having trouble standing on that leg. Like his combinations which were brilliant early. Like he was really lighting Gaethje up with like 5-6 piece combinations with the hands. Anytime he would try to close distance. But like they were coming less, like they were far and they were coming farther and farther apart as the fight went on. Like was it the third or second round that ended with Gaethje just hitting the Rolling Thunder?
I want to say it was the second.
Right.
I can't remember though.
Like at that point, I legitimately thought he had taken over the fight. Like it was all in his direction.
Yeah, because he I can't remember if that was the same round. Like he rocked Poirier at one of those points, and Poirier definitely like backed up, and it looked like Gaethje was almost gonna get the kill, but
yeah. But like the main thing I'm taking away from this is like Poirier, who history is like the history of Dustin Poirier is he is winning fights until the other guy starts to put up to be aggressive, and then he loses. Like that's how he lost to KZ. That's how he lost to Connor. the Cub and MJ fights are a little different, but like he's not a guy who deals with pressure very well. And he did a great job of mitigating it here. He ate something like 50 leg kicks to do it. Like I want to say the number was actually like 40 something, 45 or something. But he did a great job. It took him a while, but he finally got the timing on on Gaethje's naked leg kicks, and he drilled the crap out of him. For Gaethje, like I get that he has to be a pressure fighter to succeed. I get that he has to like be in the brawl to do work, but it's more and more clear like that he needs a second layer of attack and defense. Like he needs to add in like some wrestling. He needs to add in, especially when he's hurt. Because like if you go back to the Johnson fight, or you look at this one, like he gets rocked in the fourth round by that punch, right? So what does he do? He starts swinging back, and when like he starts like losing his balance, he reaches out to try to like grab Poirier, but not like grab him and like tie up, but like to grab him to like steady himself, because he's on skates basically. Like there was no. He's a great wrestler defensively anyway. Like he got out of a couple takedown attempts from Poirier here, but like he is truly like a live or die fighter. Like he's not in there to survive. He's in there to kill you. And if he thinks you're going to open up when he's hurt, he's going to open up back, and may the best man win. That's what happened with the Johnson fight. Yeah, like I think he came out in the pros fight and said he only had like 5 fights left in him. And that might be optimistic. Like this dude needs to add a wrestling component to his game, a place where he can do more damage to his opponent. Like he can control and do damage to his opponent, and he doesn't have to eat 50 million punches to do it.
All right.
And he needs to like his defense isn't bad, it's just simple. And your hands are always supposed to be your last mode of defense. It's head movement, like range. That guy was the last one. He's gonna kill me. Head movement, range. Oh, and like just angling out of the way, basically. And the footwork, I should say. So. Like he needs those components to his game. Like otherwise, he's just going to keep losing.
And the thing is, I know the wrestling's there, but I feel like he uses it more defensively. Like, because if you watch him World Series of Fighting, he kind of used some of those fights. It shows, and it's there. He's just one of those, go out on the shield and sword kind of guys that you don't get to see it that much. But there's a reason not a lot of people put him on his back. Via takedown. But
I mean, not a lot of people put him on his back when it comes to knocking him out either. Like he was he was still like fumbling around when Poirier knocked him out.
Yeah, this dude, man, there's at least one in every sport. There's some dudes that they're just different. They're not cut from the same cloth as the rest of us. And Gaethje he's one of those guys. Like. He's not from here.
There are guys like Tony Ferguson who are and Matt Brown who are like clearly there would be no place else where they would be able to succeed in life if they were not prize fighters. But with Gaethje, it's like I don't see like Gaethje completely wrecking his life like freaking Like I assume Tony Ferguson would do if he wasn't a fighter, but I struggle to see what else like. The thing that drives Gaethje is I think he actually wants to die in a fight. like he wholehearted, like he said, yeah, I'm probably going to like him saying I'm probably gonna get knocked out in my next 10 fights after he beat Johnson, and like then immediately saying, yeah, I'm okay with dying in the cage. Like people say that, but like I think Gaethje really feels that way. I think he's okay with dying.
Yeah, he fights like it. There's no regard for his life or the person he's fighting.
And Whitman has done a great job in training him, like maximizing all those violent tendencies and like his near suicidal like embrace of violence. But dude, like the thing is, like if you watch his fight, like he has like head movement, like especially at range, in early in fights, he'll be like he'll be bobbing and weaving out of the way of punches when he's coming in. But somewhere along the line, it just goes away. He's just like, screw it. I'm gonna put my hands up, double forearm block, and then we're gonna get down to business.
Yeah, he's the thug life personified. But yeah, man, this dude. Yeah, 5 fights might be ambitious, considering like every fight he's in looks like the one we just watched.
Like legitimately, I was like, they really booked him only 4 months after the Alvarez fight.
Yeah, I don't know what you do with him
Wait
after.
till
I mean,
December.
no matter.
Like, you got a Fox card in December. Like, let him take 8 months off, throw him in the co-main event, and like see if he has anything left.
I think he's still got some left in the tank, but I just think that the way he fights, he found himself just in kind of fights where like you're winning until you're losing, and like it could be a thing where like his record won't reflect his talent level. Like he may end up with a lot of losses, but we know those easily could have been wins if like just maybe 1 or 2 things just would have went his way.
Like,
but
I saw people tweeting like he's not, like, it's okay, he's an action fighter who can't hang with the elite of the division. But I'm like, he messed the fuck up about Eddie Alvarez, and he messed the fuck up about Dustin Poirier, both dudes who are proven top 5 level fighters. Like, you can't say he's not.
Yeah, he can hang. He'll give anybody in this division fits. Because of like his pace and the way he fights.
I legitimately want to see him fight Khabib, because I think he's a tough fight for Khabib.
Yeah, I think we would see that wrestling where he would probably not be taken down so easily.
And
yeah, and with his kind of striking against Khabib's, which isn't, and I don't think Khabib has really 8 leg kicks.
I don't think anybody's tried.
Because I mean, poor Barboza. That man gave 110%, but I don't think he was able to get like a ton of those off, really. So yeah, that would be an interesting matchup. But we'll see, man. Gaethje, I'm pretty deep around. He provides too much violence, so he'll. Hey,
this is your reward for asking for more money, Pettis. You have to fight Gaethje.
I'm all for it. Any Gaethje fight, I'm in front of the TV. I'm watching. I'm there. Once again, man, I can't say enough of good things about Poirier. Like this guy's been on a roll. He's looked really good as of late, and this was just a really, really great performance from him. Interested to see who they match him up with, whether or not he gets a title shot or not. But we'll see. Probably not.
Okay, if they're not going to rebook Ferguson, they're probably going to give Khabib Eddie. Or if they're not doing the McGregor Khabib fight, I mean, as well. So
we'll see. The one good thing about lightweight is I feel like no matter matchups, you can't really go wrong because everybody is. So
we
good.
have one next week. So a really good lightweight matchup between Kevin Lee and Edson Barboza. Like he could fight the winner of that.
Like, the wheels of weight just keep turning. Every fight is a good one. You can't go wrong.
Like lightweight's such a hard division to get invested in guys early because, as we'll get to later, like Edson Barboza was seen as like a failure 5 years ago after like Barn beat him. But like look at him now. He's now like the number 3 or 4 guy in the division.
All right. So we'll see. Awesome event. Definitely lived up to the hype. All the violence you could ask for. Speaking of violence. All right, people, we are back. You probably just heard some funky edit because my computer literally just quit while we were recording, and I just got a blue screen and I had to restart. It was no warning or prep. It just literally just cut off. But
I mean, is this really a Dojo Talk podcast without something stupid happening to our computers?
Yeah. I want to say it's a curse, but it's almost like
At this point, it's a gift.
Yeah, it almost wouldn't be right if at least one thing didn't go wrong while we were trying to record. I will say though, I feel like our errors somehow happen at good times. Like I can remember where we left off. So that's for
We left off at the sadness.
right. Yeah. So continuing down this card, co-main event: Alex Cowboy Oliveira, Carlos Condit. I can say about this fight, at least, just by watching Condit just move, just kind of maneuver around the octagon, I was like, all right, this isn't the same Condit who fought Magny. He looks more refreshed. He looks not so rusty. As far as the fight, lots of scrambles on the ground going on with this fight. Oliveira able to get the takedown in the first. Condit was able to find his way out of some bad spots in reverse position, and then in the first he even took Cowboy's back. Tried to go for, I think he went for a choke that he ended up not getting. But pretty competitive first round. But I gave Condit the first. He was able to get out of some bad positions. He ended the round in a dominant position. So I gave Carlos the first round. Second round, gosh, this is where my memory's faulty. I'm so mad I didn't get to watch this fight repeatedly. But I know there was another, I know there were more ground exchanges. And Carlos got hit with a very nasty up kick that I think in real time they didn't really catch, but I think they mentioned it in the replay.
Yeah.
That up kick he got hit with definitely rocked him. You could tell like he was. I don't think he was completely out, but he was definitely. He wasn't all the way there. Like you could tell just by like the way he kind of fell over that he was, like he wasn't completely there all the way. And they had another scramble. He kind of, I think he went for the takedown kind of out of desperation because he was kind of rocked. Kind of left his neck open for the guillotine. At one point it looked like maybe he was gonna get out. Cowboy had it in pretty tight. Carlos was, he stood in it for a while, went down to the ground. It was kind of weird because Cowboy's back, I think, was, or they were in like kind of a weird position against the cage, and I thought Carlos was gonna maybe finagle his way out of it. But Oliveira, man, that dude is he is a strong welterweight, and it just seemed like just via pressure of that guillotine. Like, it didn't even look like it was the best positioning, but, like, he was just so strong that he was able to sync it up. And, yeah, Condit taps out. And, props to Oliveira. Good performance for him. Great win to have on your resume. But as a Condit fan, this one definitely hurt. Definitely hurt my soul a little bit. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about this fight.
That guillotine was freaking insane. Like the squeeze on it, because like he had, like Condit had dropped, so like he was literally sliding down the cage trying to escape the guillotine. And Alex Oliveira refused to let it go. I was gonna say, like, against his better judgment, because you can burn yourself out doing that crap. He's like, no, I'm gonna just hang on to it until it taps, because I got it, and he gets it.
Yeah.
It made for a very sad visual seeing bloodied up Condit with Oliveira on top of him, just squeezing as hard as he could,
Yeah.
and watching the blood just like pour out of his head
And he
as he's squeezing.
I think he got cut with an elbow. I think from the bottom.
No,
What did he get cut with?
Oliveira cut him. Yeah, Oliveira cut him, but it was like with a standing elbow or something. I think. Oh no, it was when he was on top, because this fight was essentially Oliveira got the takedown, kind of created enough space so he could sit up, and it would reshoot on a double of his own, and then get Oliveira down, and then Oliveira would either like scramble to his feet or just like try to like hold Condit down. But that up kick.
Yeah. Up kick was that was the beginning of the end. Oh my god.
Like after the up kick, like his head hits the mat and then it slides, and all you see is like a
The
pool
blood
of blood.
trail, like, yeah, ooh, that was nasty. That was maybe it's just the fan in me being biased. It was like, by looking at that fight, like I want to say like Condit still has more in the tank, but then at the same time, it's like he's been on a pretty bad skid as of late. Though I still want to see the Matt Brown fight. I feel like we're owed that. Like, I still kind of want to see that fight happen if there's a way that can get rebooked. But yeah, man, Condit, man, it's been a hard run. His last win was in 2015. If you ask me, his last win was in 2016. But it's another story for another day. But yeah, man, he got drops to Lawler, which I thought he won, but whatever. Got ragdolled by Maia. The Magny fight, which he didn't really look all that great in, and then you have this fight where, he looked pretty good, but just you got caught, and I don't know. I don't know what you do. Do we just run the Matt Brown as the official retirement fight? Hope it actually happens this time, or
I'd prefer not to see. I prefer Condit leave with something in the tank. You feel me?
yeah.
But that's not Condit's style. He's going to go out on his shield. If he has to have one more fight, I'd rather it be against Matt Brown.
Yeah. I say that's a fitting send off for both of them. Like, I think that would be a nice and violent fight for both of them to, and there's no way that fight wouldn't be exciting. But
didn't Brown tear his ACL or something?
Oh yeah, I think that did it. Oof.
So he's gone for like a year.
Yeah, that might. Oof. Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? But for on the other end, on Cowboys end, he's got some solid wins at welterweight. Like I said, a really big, athletic 170. Always a fun watch, and also impressive because he took this fight on, I can't remember the exact day. This was really short notice. I can't remember the exact how long it was, but
I think Anik said 10 days.
Yeah, and for 10-day short notice, that's a pretty good performance on his part. So shout outs to him for getting the W. Really good look on him. Great name to have on your resume. Always, I like watching him fight as well, but I'm just a really big Condit fan, so this one kind of hurt. But it is what it is. Cowboy gets the guillotine, and life goes on. I guess. Going down to the next fight, another fight I was really excited to see: Israel Adesanya and Marvin Vettori. I didn't see maybe I was, I don't know. Maybe I'm just easily entertained because like I said, I didn't see this fight in real time, so like I was kind of reading Twitter updates while I was out, and I don't know. To me, people made this fight seem like it was underwhelming, but I enjoyed it.
I think that's just because it came after like a whole thing of like really good fight finishes and stuff, and so good fights and stuff. Like the only bad fight before this was the Okami fight.
Okay, yeah, so I guess the crowd was spoiled. Because, like, I thought this fight was pretty good. Like, I thought Vettori actually made it a pretty competitive fight. Definitely what he did in the third, Probably should have been doing a bit more in the first and second. But I guess I get it. He didn't want to just spam takedowns and get caught in that game. So I could see him, he was using his hands, he was using his strikings to try to, set up the takedown and just not be so obvious with it. But, when you're fighting Adesanya, if you're gonna stand with him, it might not go your way. I was actually impressed with Adesanya, how like patient he is when he strikes. I'm pretty sure he knows he's in terms of striking, he's more talented than a lot of guys in this division. But he doesn't just go for the kill. He picks his shots very well. He's very economical with his strikes. Good defense at times. He got tagged a few times, but he does utilize range and distance very well. He able to hit you. He's not there when you hit back. Good head movement. Good footwork. Like, kind of, I would say, picked his way apart to a decision up until that third where Vettori just blitzkrieged him for the takedown and kind of worked that in there and took the last round. But I thought another solid performance from Adesanya. I mean, definitely somebody who, he's definitely still has holes in his game. The takedown defense is something you'll definitely want to work on, especially once you start getting to the upper echelon of this division. It's not really going to get any easier in terms of facing wrestlers or guys who are just really good with grappling. So that's definitely something of his game, but I'm pretty sure he knows that, that's something he needs to work on. But striking wise, dude is pinpoint, sharp as always. I will say though, with Adesanya, I know I feel like he's getting some steam behind him, but I don't think he's somebody they should rush up to like your, top 15, top 10.
Like I said, just let him fight bad kickboxers for a year.
Right. let him rack up some highlight reel, fights. Let him keep getting his feet wet. Because if you rush him too fast, man, I could definitely see a lot of those fights in that top 15 just not going his way. And I also still worry that he seems like a very small 185er. So I'm just worrying eventually if guys will just be able to just kind of muscle him around. But with his level of striking, he's always in a fight. And I gotta throw this out there. Where are these John Jones comparisons coming from?
He's long and he's black. And he has chicken legs.
Right.
Like, they
saw
don't
that.
fight anything alike.
Nothing alike. There's nothing remotely similar about their games at all. Like, so if you're saying he's the next John Jones, I have to assume it's because he's black. Because there's nothing else they have in common other than like you said, they're both long and lanky and they're black. That's it. That's where the comparison stops.
Adesanya is like a million times a better striker, but like boxer.
Right.
Than
Jones. And Jones is a million times better wrestler than Adesanya, who literally doesn't wrestle at all. So, with that comparison, yeah, you guys, you lost me on that one. But solid performance from both fighters. But Israel gets the split decision win. Very good display of striking.
Somebody gave Vettori the first round, and that person shouldn't be allowed to judge fights anymore.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
There were a few of these decisions on this card where I'm looking at the scorecard. I'm just like, what the hell are you watching?
Well, yeah, I'll let you break down this fight, and then we'll get to that because the very next fight.
Right. So positive. Adesanya, by virtue of working on his boxing, he, for all his kickboxing accomplishments, and he is primarily a kickboxer. I think he had a couple. He had 6 pro boxing matches in 2015, 2014. But by virtue of having a more hand-focused approach to striking, Adesanya is kind of he's avoided the pitfalls that other high-level kickboxers get into when they come to MMA. Doesn't really happen to heavyweight for some reason, not that I could think of. but like guys like Joe Schilling or Jareno Bars, who so much of their game is like so much of kickboxing is um like so much of the defense is literally just tying up with people and then waiting for the ref to break.
Mm.
Adesanya doesn't have that problem, and it's a good thing he didn't because he'd probably get muscled around by somebody who was really strong and get taken down eventually. But he does not does not crowd himself on punches. He does not close distance unnecessarily, and when he does, he does it with intent to either throw a knee or like launch an elbow or something like that. Dude is a brilliant sniper. He will pick you apart with ease. He was doing it to Vittori. I didn't like how much he was getting hit with the left hand. Was it the left hand? Yeah, it's southpaw. Like he did get touched up a little too much from Mayate, but I'm going to credit that to just getting more accustomed to the to MMA. What else was? There was so kickboxing cardio, 9 minute fights does not translate into MMA very well because dude was gassed in that last round, and I'm kind of surprised Vittori did not just go ham and just when he got on top and just throw every elbow and punch he could. Because if he did, he probably would have won. Or at least busted Adesanya up a bit. He didn't really upset when he lost the decision. He like as soon as the decision was run, he like stormed out the cage. And like you said, I'm worried that Adesanya might be a little small, which is weird to say because he's 6'3", but like,
right.
Again, chicken legs.
And that's like I don't know if you can drop the 170 because he's not like a muscular shredded dude.
This would be like Pettis dropping the 145.
Right.
Like you'd have to give up what's left of your strength to make 170. So at what point? Where is the trade off? I really like his game. I really hope they give him the slow burn. That's not really their style though. Just let him fight bad kickboxers. And like bad wrestlers like Rob Wilkinson.
We'll see. Well, give him the Michael Venom Page treatment.
Not even like just give him like middleweight is built off mediocre kickboxers who are just too tough for their own good. Like Rafael Natal Natal was one of those dudes. Like he was an okay-ish kickboxer who found success because one he could fight for like 3 hard rounds. A lot of middleweights can't do that. And he wasn't afraid to get dirty. He got in there and he was just more physical than his opponent. Adesanya's not like that. He's more of a finesse dude. But like, there's no reason for him to be fighting Dan Kelly in his next fight. You feel me?
The toughest dad of them all.
Granddad.
The final granddad boss.
Right. Like, I don't know who's next on this. Like, you can fight the other Italian. Let's say the Chirico. Who just beat Bambose. I was gonna say you could fight Bambose, but
yeah, there are plenty of mid-tier or even lower tier guys out there he can.
There's no reason for him to go out and fight Trevin Giles. You feel me?
Right.
But I'm afraid that's the type of thing they're going to have him do. Yeah.
Because it seems like people are warming up to him, and once that starts happening, the machine gets ideas, and I don't want to see Israel versus like I don't know who's somebody in like the top 15. Like I don't want to see Israel versus like I don't know Bosch or
Tavares.
any of those guys. I don't want to see that yet.
Like they just signed Tim Williams. Let him fight Tim Williams.
How would you
Or
feel about him? The only other one name I thought. How would you feel about him and Uriah Hall?
I mean, it's a fight he could win, but it's also a fight that where Uriah Hall could just take him down and beat the crap out of him.
That is true.
Because one thing Hall does well when it comes, Hall's problem has never been his wrestling. It's always been that his striking game has never been defensively sound. So like dude could literally just shoot a blast double and get on top of him and beat him up.
Yeah, that is true. That was the only name I could think of in like the top 10, 15. I was like, hey, he might be able to take him. But nonetheless, still a pretty impressive performance. So good win for Israel.
Good learning experience.
Yeah, and that's what he needs more. Let's not throw him to the wolves yet.
Strikers need rounds, man. Like that's really what it comes down to. Like they need rounds. They need to learn. They need to adjust. Like one of the underlooked things about Holly Holm heading into like the to the Ronda Rousey fight is Ronda Rousey had like 25 minutes of cage time up to that point in her career. Holly Holm had something like 125 minutes, probably more, because she all those decisions, but like that stuff adds up and it counts. So
we'll see what they do with him. But speaking of split decisions, and let's get into it. Michelle Waterson, Courtney Casey. So I only got a chance to watch this fight once. I watched this fight this morning when I woke up. So I'm a pretty big Waterson fan, have been since Invicta. But I can't lie, at the end of this fight, I was like, I'm not sure about that one. I'm not quite sure about this decision.
So why did Michelle Waterson win this decision?
So I was trying to think of this. The only thing the only thing I could think of, and this almost goes back to my friend's other fight the other week, but I don't even know if that applies. The one thing Waterson did do, which I was actually kind of impressed with, considering like Waterson, it almost sucks because she's so small for this division. Like she's always at a size disadvantage. It seems like with anybody she fights. So I was actually kind of impressed at how she was getting takedowns, and I felt like she didn't have to work too hard for them. Like she was grabbing single legs, and it seemed to work. So like she had moments where she was getting single legs, and she had moments of control on the ground. So I'm splitting hairs here, kind of trying to figure out why or how she got the nod. So that was like the only thing I could think of, was like, maybe are you just counting positioning and takedowns more? Because if you look at the fight in terms of damage, it was definitely all for Casey. I mean, I think she rocked Waterson in the first with a right. I think she caught her in the second with the same thing. Casey landed all of the hardest shots. So when this fight was over, I thought Casey won, but they gave Waterson the nod. Yeah, other than takedowns and might be the only reason I could see Waterson getting the W. But even with that, you're splitting hairs. But I mean, no diss to Waterson. That it's not her job to judge the fight. You go in, you fight, and whatever happens, just it is what it is. I thought it was interesting that Casey didn't seem too angry after the decision. I thought if anybody who would be angry and storm out, that might have been the one. But
I think she's just used to losing close fights at this point.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't agree with the decision. Just trying to be fair, even as a Waterson fan. But she got the W. I guess it is what it is. But yeah.
Yeah. So like Casey struggles controlling the fight, basically. Like she has no problem fighting whatever phase you're going to fight her in, except maybe like inside the clinch, because like she's pretty solid offensive from there, but like control wise, she does not she does not hold it down as well. She's pretty easy to turn around, push against the fence. Sometimes she does it herself. Like there was a point in this fight where she wanted to break away from the clinch, and instead of just framing and getting out, she tried to pull her arm out, and ended up like turning herself into the fence. And Watterson just like turned her around, and she was all of a sudden pressing her into the fence again. So she does not Casey does not do a good job of controlling like situation. She does not do good. She's not very good at knowing where she is in the cage at certain times. Like she's really easy to back up into the fence if you're pressuring her. But like there's no area where she struggles in terms of like just straight up offense, and that's what we saw today, or yesterday when she was just Watterson early was giving her a little bit of trouble because she was she's really quick. But once Casey got her timing, that she was lighting her up. Like he says, he rocked her. That one punch that just like turned Watterson's whole head around, and like, the whole arena just stood up. It was just like, holy crap. Like, and even when they went to the ground, like it was Watterson defending arm bars or defending the triangle, trying not to get her back taken. That one sequence at the end where Casey finally learned that if you stick your hand, like if you grab at the waist when they're going for the takedown and like you flatten them out, they have no power, and she's just pounding on her head, and it's like the most like severe thing. I'm struggling to. I can't find 2 rounds I give Watterson. That's basically what I'm getting at. Like, I thought I had Casey winning this 30-27. And Watterson adapted beautifully. Like I'm not like all the power to her. Like I'm sure her game was to come out here and outspeed Casey for 3 rounds, maybe like work a little bit more in the clinch. But like once she realized that Casey had her timing and her range down on the feet, so like she switched to the inside single leg, got her down, and like tried to work from there. Just didn't work out. So, like I'm too numb to be angry at it at this point.
Yeah, it's just one of those decisions where it's like, it is what it is. But either way, Michelle Watterson gets the W, and whatever happened just kind of happened. So that was the main card. Jesus Christ, this card is long. I'm looking at the rest. There are a lot of fights on this card.
Well, there's a lot to talk about, which is a good thing.
Good.
Normally, it's just like, oh, it's Joe Schmo from Iowa,
right?
And he's gotten slightly better since the last time we saw him on the UFC Fight Pass prelims for the Fight Pass card.
Yeah, I would say actually for a Fox card, like this was a good mix of there were some names on here, like young guys, old guys,
Carlos Condit.
Right. There was a lot going on here. So continuing down, this was the start of the prelim cards on Fox. So we had Antonio Carlos Jr. And Tim Bosch. All right, so this is the part where I'm gonna have to tell you guys. Memory is gonna start getting a little sketchy on some of these, but I'll try my best to remember.
I watched this fight this morning, and I don't remember it much.
Yeah, I don't either. I remember. I feel like they were both throwing pretty hard, but once Antonio got him down, like that was pretty much a wrap. Like jiu-jitsu prevailed. Bosch didn't really have much of an answer for the ground game, and he got choked out. And
5-fight winning streak, 4 by submission. Like, I don't like Shoeface at middleweight. I thought he was fine at light heavyweight. I think his only problem was like he wasn't really committed to the striking when he fought. Was it Patrick Cummins? Like he would tie up with Cummins and like force the wrestling, which he was going to lose at. like he looks really stiff at middleweight, and he's always looked stiff. But I think the problem is exacerbated by the fact that he's a huge dude trying to cut down to 185.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah.
That is a big boy.
I don't remember much of the striking exchanges on this fight.
I mean, the fight only went one round, so it wasn't it wasn't like a ton to digest. Yeah, but pretty much, I don't remember the exchanges, but once it went to the ground, it was over.
I mean, good on Shoeface for not giving us a third round Bosch, because third round Bosch is a tough motherfucker.
Yeah. Uppercuts and yeah. Did he end Yushin Okami's career? I can't see that. I can't.
I mean, Okami fought on this card, so his career is still.
Oh yeah. Never mind. That's not fair. Never mind. That wasn't fair. Going on down to the next fight. King of Kung Fu, Muslim Salikov, Ricky Rainey. It's cool to see Ricky Rainey in the UFC after being over in Bellator.
Looking just as confused against a non-traditional striker.
I didn't realize, is Salikov just a small welterweight, or is Rainey just really big?
Rainey's like 6. It says most at 6'1", but that seems like bull. He looked really tall.
Yeah, Rainey seemed like he really big in this fight, but this fight was kind of like weird almost, because I don't, maybe my expectations were different than what happened. Like, I was just looking at the size difference and the range difference, and what I'm pretty sure Rainey enjoyed a reach advantage. I'm not sure about how much, but I'm positive he had a pretty sizable reach advantage. But he wasn't like as active as I thought he should have been, and I don't know if he was afraid of like being countered, which kind of did end up being what put him away. But yeah, I don't know. It was just kind of weird. I thought this fight was gonna be a bit more back and forth-ish. I mean, there were moments, but it seemed like Salikov was like he was just waiting for that perfect shot to kind of just put the fight away. I mean, he had a few spinning techniques. I think he landed a spinning back kick. I think he threw a spinning back fist. I'm not sure if that one landed. It just seemed like he was waiting for like the perfect hit to kind of just end the fight. And I mean, I guess I can't fault him. In round 2, what happened? My God. So I think Rainey was throwing a left, and Salikov countered with a right, and it turned Rainey's entire body around. Like he literally did like a 180, like almost like face planted on the floor. Salikov catches him with like 2 extra ground and pound punches, and Rainey's out of there. Yeah, I don't know. I felt like Rainey could have just, if he was like a bit more active, he could have made this a tougher fight. Especially like by the second round, it seemed like he was really, like, I don't know. I don't really get what the game plan was for Rainey.
Like I'm thinking Rainey might have like Des Green syndrome, I like to call it, like where he's such a journeyman who fights like whenever like somebody gives him like the short notice, that his whole game is built around him just like surviving. You feel me? So like he does as little as possible so that he doesn't get hurt. And he sees everything coming. Because if he had stuck to like range striking, like the punch that he got knocked out trying to throw was a step and hook. He might have been able to take it on like the cards, because Muslim was only throwing like one punch at a time. Like he I think Rainey could have won this on volume if he stuck to like the long strikes, because he landed a couple of them really hard. I want to say he landed like that right hand down the middle in like the first round that really caught Salikov off guard. So I don't know as much about Sanda as I probably should. Like, all I know about Kung Fu is like during the Cultural Revolution, all the Red Guard really like murdered a lot of those dudes, like the masters of like Kung Fu. But How many dudes do you think Solokov fought in China who were like 6'2", 6'3", and really freaking long?
Right. None of them.
Like, because I honestly God don't know what the I was gonna say like the diversity of like athlete is in for like this type of thing. Like I'm sure like I'm sure they have like a pretty like China has a pretty deep internal well of talent, but like how many of them are like 6'2", 6'3", and like have a 77-inch reach or whatever? How many of them are how many of them are just bricked up short dudes like Alex Garcia? Like so
Yeah.
that's what I picked up from this. Like, was he, was he adapting how the like was this his normal style, or is this him adapting to like having to fight a long dude after like a career in a sport where like everybody was basically like, the same size as him?
I was wondering if he was thinking maybe Rainey was gonna do more, and he was just like,
Oh yeah, and have like more opportunities to counter and stuff.
right.
That's possible too. Like Rainey was short notice, right?
Yeah, I think his was a pretty short notice too.
Oh, he was supposed to fight Alassane. Oh, that makes sense. Um, I'm reluctant to call it a great performance, though I think it's a good win, especially since like his first fight went so crap
Yeah.
for him. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a solid win, but I'm not what's the word I'm looking for? It's not like the Adesanya fight where like I'm like, all right, I'm ready to see what this guy does next.
Right.
I'm just kind of like, all right, it was a good win,
But
nothing to take away. I'm not trying to take a slight at him, but it's kind of like, yeah, it was cool, I guess. But
right.
yeah, not a ton to dissect in that fight. It was kind of weird, but awesome finish though, nonetheless. Like he literally turned Rainey's body around, so it was a really well timed punch. So awesome finish nonetheless. Um, going on down, continuing. Next fight, flyweight division, John Moraga, Wilson Hayes. I I I almost I almost, I don't know why. Well, I know I do know why. So I watched this fight this morning, and I went on YouTube and I typed in Chicano John, and I was almost just gonna listen to a Chicano John track while this fight was on, but I didn't do it.
I mean, does he have actual like
Well,
songs that are his? Because I know he
the
has the feature.
well, yeah, the one I saw was the Kane and O Dog, which featured other rappers I don't know and cannot name at this point. Um,
Chicano John.
I can't remember the other guy's name. I was almost gonna put one of those tracks on and just listen to it while the fight was on. But
Ride
I
motherfuckers like Kane. Smoke motherfuckers like O Dog.
yeah.
Oh wait, wait, I see some other Chicano Jog tracks, but they're with Kane and O Dog. Can you
uh,
believe John Moraga and Henry Cejudo were best friends growing up?
Hey man, you gotta have a well balanced, well rounded circle of friends.
I'm pretty sure John Moraga's dad trained Henry Cejudo until he was on the Olympic team.
Oh man. That's the next reality show,
Because
Moraga, Cejudo, and then Northcutt and Woodley. That's it, man.
Henry Cejudo seems like a dude like straight out of like PR school. He's just always excited to be there.
But in terms of the fight, I was actually really I like this. The fight was actually really fun to watch. Pretty nonstop. Really like what Moraga did a lot of this fight. He looked really good in the first round. Um, at least for a portion of evading takedowns, he was getting in, getting out. He was touching Hayes up on the feet pretty well throughout this fight. Hayes pretty relentless with pressure, continuously going for takedowns, also landing some. But I think Moraga was just kind of just able to dish out more damage. I don't think Hayes had a ton of answers on the feet as to where Moraga was landing a pretty good barrage of strikes. I want to say, was it the second round? He caught Hayes with a flying knee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
Hayes
I
just
was,
ate it.
yeah. Props to Hayes because that knee was pretty flush. But he caught Hayes with a flying knee. Moraga just had a lot of just like good moments in this fight, and Hayes, while he was able to get takedowns, I don't think he was able to really deal out a ton of damage as to where Moraga just, like I said, when it was on the feet, Moraga was definitely getting the better of the exchanges, and he ended up winning a decision, unanimous 29-28. But really good fight, fun fight from both. Pretty high pace, back and forth fight, and a pretty solid win from Moraga. Good performance from him.
Why isn't he called Chicano Wad?
Maybe that's just taking it too far. I was hoping that the spelling would be different somehow. I don't know why. Like Chicano would have a K instead of a C. I don't know.
But no, like so one of the things they said during the broadcast was like that the dude showed up at the performance center like a year ago and could barely walk, and that was pretty concerning because that's like right after the Pettis fight, where he looked like, I don't want to say shot, but that was one of the best performances of Pettis' career, and now we know the reason. So like he's looked pretty good, like over the past year, since like going to the performance center and like having them help him retool and everything, because like he looks quicker on the feet. Because that's always been like my big knock on John Moraga. Like in the division where you have like Demetrius Johnson and John Dodson and like Scoggins and Joseph Benavidez and Pettis and like Mateus Nicolau, like you have to be really quick on the feet. Like, and he was never been like a really standout, like next level athlete like you need to be a top flyweight. Like he's always kind of just met up for it with grit and just a solid fundamental, striking and like submission game, and offensive wrestling. So, but he looked really solid here. Besides getting taken down and getting his back taken like twice in the same round. He looked quicker on the feet than ever. Like the punch speed, like the movement were better than ever. Shouts to Wilson Hayes, because good God, just eating it on the chin like that. Because he was getting hit heavy on the feet. So.
Yeah, man, he ate that like a champ. A lot of people that fight probably would have been over right after that.
Yeah,
that could have turned into a highlight KO really easily, but
I'm happy John won it too, because like this is the type of fight where like you could see like 5 years ago Hayes would have got the decision.
Yeah, and quietly Moraga's on a 3-fight win streak.
Yep, not good enough to beat the top 5, but he's good enough to be number 6.
Yeah, so good one for Chicano John, out here kneeing people in the head. Continuing down. Brad Tavares, Christoph Jocko. I'm trying to remember this fight a little bit. I remember like it was weird because I felt like Jocko was moving around a lot but not doing a ton.
That sounds like
Jocko. Meanwhile, Tavares wasn't moving much. Like he was just like slowly plodding forward, but still getting the better of exchanges. He was landing that leg kick a lot. He landed a few power shots. I don't remember a lot of this fight in a ton of detail. Like it was just weird to watch because based off of Jocko's movement, you would think he was just, ready to pounce at any time. But it was more Tavares just stalking him, walking him down, and slowly picking him apart. And then in the third, he blasted this man with the right. and just kind of took his soul.
Yeah, off
And,
that. Yeah, so Jocko was throwing the really ugly uppercut with the chin up in the air, and Tavares just countered the crap out of it. Because he had shown it to him like the entirety of the fight. So, by the way, that was Tavares' first stoppage since UFC 125, where he stopped Phil Baroni.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's been a while.
yeah, that's a name you don't you don't hear that often. But I feel like Tavares has quietly been on the streak, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me make it. Let's see.
Yeah, that's 4 in a row.
4 in a row, huh?
So shout out to Tavares, and he's actually, I think they mentioned it during the broadcast, like he's been in the game for a while.
He's only 30, but yeah, he's been fighting in the UFC since like 2011,
Yeah,
2010.
he's been around for a while. So, and I mean, to be honest, most of his losses outside of Aaron Simpson, he's only lost to pretty like top guys like
Even
Romero.
even Aaron Simpson was like
Back then, yeah. So
a solid dude.
So yeah, he's beat solid competition. He's only lost to pretty much the top guys,
And
Romero,
Bosch.
Bosch, and Whitaker. So I mean, none of those are losses to be ashamed of. So
I can't remember who said it on Twitter, but like somebody said, if you were to put all the UFC middleweights ever on a line from like best to worst, Tim Bosch would probably be like the medium.
yeah, I can see that. He's right there. Like he's a tough test. He's a tough out. If you can get past him, then it means you might have something.
Someone else also called him the toughest dad at the barbecue.
Definitely, I would agree. That dad uppercut you, you're out of here. You're off the grill. Yeah, you're out of here. He's definitely sending you home off the grill with that. So shout outs to Brad DeFares. Let me plug in my laptop before I have another incident over here. Shout outs to Brad Tavares. A pretty good TKO stoppage. Next fight, Gilbert Burns and Dan Murray. I remember a lot of power shots in this fight.
Wait, there were 14 fights on this freaking card?
Yeah, as I told you, this card was crazy long. Like, there were a lot of fights on this card.
Oh my god.
But I mean, a lot of these next couple, I feel like you don't have to spend not too long on them because we got some stoppages and but
Some funkiness.
Yeah. Burns and Murray, this was actually a pretty fun fight. I feel like both of these dudes were just literally throwing power shots. Burns was landing that body kick a lot, pretty hard. Murray was firing back. It was literally just them throwing power shots. Burns, who I know has great or pretty good grappling, didn't really use it at all in this fight. I think this stood up pretty much the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And then in round 2, Burns unleashes, I want to say a right on Dan, and that was a wrap. Was this the KO where I think he caught him with the right, and dude just kind of like fell with his knee, just kind of slumped?
Oh yeah, he fell and rested on his knee.
Yeah, and like Burns didn't even attempt to follow up. He just kind of walked away and knew it was over.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was actually a pretty fun fight. Like I said, it was just power shots until one was not able to power shot anymore. So that has Burns on a 2-fight winning streak.
Is it 2 or 3?
2. The other one was what's the guy's name? Sampo? Not Sampo.
Mikael Pereira. There we go.
Well, no, he lost to Pereira. He beat Sago, Jason Sago.
Right. So Burns continues to look better with like his hands. Like it's still not all there yet. Like like you said, he still only throws power punches. But like his striking is like coming along way better than like back in the day where he was just basically spamming punches. Now he's spamming punches with a purpose. Yeah, Murray, just real quick, Murray did a really good job for like a dude coming up on like short notice and like getting signed and having to fight a pretty damn good talent. Like Gilbert Burns, like again, like lightweight so deep, guys get lost in the shuffle. Like when Gilbert Burns got signed, he was like a blue chip prospect.
All right.
Like, he's a jiu-jitsu like champion. He's Vitor Belfort's jiu-jitsu coach. He was for at least for a while. Like just I don't know how high he goes at lightweight. I think he'd have probably more success at like welterweight because like this fight was originally supposed to be him and Lando Venata, but it was rescheduled from a previous bout, a previous card I think, where like Burns that like was like 30 pounds overweight when he got there.
Jesus Christ.
Well, not 30 pounds, but he was supposed to fight Mercier at UFC on Fox 28, but they were both pulled for the card because Burns was deemed like too heavy to cut weight. Which, if I thought it was in California. So I guess that's just countrywide now, because I was in Florida. But anyway, like Burns was like too high above weight for them, the doctors to feel safe for him to cut to 156, so they just called the fight off. So like, it's not like he's short. He's 5'10". Like he could compete at welterweight. I feel like, and he'd probably be a hell of a lot quicker. And he's quick now, so
that's a solid win for him. I would say, and 170 has grapplers, and he's got that skill set. So I assume that would translate.
Yep.
If he goes up.
2 knockout wins in a row for Burns on the feet.
Right.
Big deal.
Speaking of knockouts, I'm on my Facebook timeline, and I see Mr. Fish in the Fight Club. I don't know if this is footage from that classroom, but oh boy, America.
I'm mad none of the kids called him out for a fight. As far as we know.
With this fight that I'm seeing, I don't think these kids should have called him out.
Oh wait, they have footage? Are you kidding me?
This video that I'm watching, this looks bad. This looks terrible. I feel like I'm contributing to the downfall of mankind by even watching this.
Dude.
I'll send it to you on Facebook.
World Star is already a thing, man. Like, we are way past the point of the downfall of civilization.
So, oh, that's funny, because actually I had a Memories Facebook post. So yesterday in like 2011, I officially cleansed myself of World Star.
And here I was going to suggest that me and you do commentary over World Star videos.
Oh no, I can't do it. Every time I watch World Star, I feel like a terrible human being. But I just sent you footage of this video that just popped up on my timeline. But this next fight.
What the heck? This is like flat fight.
That's what's like. They couldn't have challenged him to a fight. I don't think it would have went too well.
Shoot a double leg, damn it.
This wasn't really a fight club. It was a lot of aggressive slapping going on. But this next fight.
Matter of fact, no, I take that back. Koika Karnas was right. MMA has ruined street fighting. Because everybody just shoots for shitty double legs instead of like trying to go for wrestling moves.
Oh man, this next fight, Lauren Amelia. Lauren.
Wait, were these? I thought these were like high school kids. This dude's saying like they're 11.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope you're not in high school fighting like that. That is not a recipe for victory.
And these kids deserve to be bullied.
Oh man! Shout out to all the middle schoolers and in the world. Hope you guys are doing all right. This next fight.
I work with middle schoolers. They all fight like that. It's hilarious.
Oh boy, it's has some very aggressive slapping. Next fight, Lauren Mueller. I cannot say her last name. Mueller And Shayna Dobson.
See, I want to keep saying Muller because that's how Bob Mueller spells his name or pronounces his name. But yeah, it's Mueller.
Yeah.
And it's Shauna.
Oh, my bad. Shauna Dobson.
Yeah. That threw me off too.
So this was, I think, Mueller's debut, I want to say.
Yes, she was one of the. I think she was the only woman so far signed off of the Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series.
See, I feel bad for not remembering this fight because I remember watching it and I felt like it was a pretty good fight.
Oh, it was a great fight.
Yeah, I remember Dobson was definitely working off the jab a lot. I remember she ended up with a bloody nose somehow. I'm really mad I don't remember like the details because this was a really good fight. Like I only watched it once and it didn't help that it was a prelim fight, so it was one of the first ones I watched, which means it's pushed to the back of my mind. But I remember this being a really good back and forth scrap. It was a really good showing from both of them, and but I don't remember like the finer details of how this fight went.
So first off, Shauna Dobson. I was really impressed with her first win over Ariel Beck.
Yeah.
She shows some power, she shows some pop, she shows like the ability to turn her hips over into a punch, which kind of rare in like a young fighter, man or woman, in MMA, because they don't learn like proper punching mechanics. They learn MMA punching mechanics, which is just sloppy punching mechanics that people think translates better than it actually does. But like here, she looked like a completely different fighter. Because like in her first fight, she looked like not slow-footed and like plodding, but like her style of attack was definitely more. Crap was. I'm trying to think of like a fighter who's like a plot, like I guess a John Lineker, like where he just come forward, get in your face, march it down a little bit, but like here she was flowing, like just like flowing, which is crazy because I think this is her third or fourth professional fight, and she looked like a natural. She hurt Mueller. She hurt Mueller in the third round, going to the body with like a straight right to the body. Followed up with a whole bunch of body punches and kicks, and almost like didn't get the stoppage, but like she was doing like her damnedest to get it. But Mueller had her on like volume and aggression. That's what really came down to. Like she she was stringing together punches and kicks really well, like feeding like kicks to like open up the overhand right. It was a really good fight actually. Like so like again, you wouldn't think these two women only had 8 fights between them heading into this one.
Yeah, they were definitely both very like well polished. And hint to the hint, if you guys have Fight Pass, this is on there. That's how I watched it, so definitely give that one a watch. So yeah, shout outs to Mueller. Got a win in your debut. I forgot, is this flyweight?
Oh yeah, flyweight. That was flyweight, yeah.
There we go. So more talent at flyweight, always a good thing. Interested to see how this division will continue to build, but good on Lauren Mueller, definitely good addition to the division. So that fight, she won by unanimous decision. Next fight, there's honestly not a lot to really talk about. Yushin Okami, Diego Lima. Somehow Yushin Okami is that welterweight. That's still weird to me. But yeah, there's a lot of wrestling from what I remember. Actually, you know what? To be honest, I think I fast forwarded through some of this fight.
I don't remember this fight at all.
It was a lot of wrestling and him just beating Diego up on the ground, and Okami's a huge welterweight, so on and so forth. That went on for 3 rounds. That fight happened. So good win for Okami. This next fight, very awesome finish on this next fight. But I'm about to butcher both of these names. Adam Wazorek.
Yeah, something like that. Vizuric.
Yeah, it's probably, yeah, I think they do WZ with them. Vizorek, something. That gentleman.
And Arjan Bueller.
It's really pronounced Bueller?
I have no idea.
Oh. Arjan Singh is either Bueller or Bilar, who I think was the first fighter to ever wear a turban coming down.
Yep.
He said that. Yeah. So actually, it was funny because this was the first fight I did see, and that was actually the first thing I saw. Like literally, I just saw his entrance and him walking down the turban. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that before. So, Arjan actually looked good in the first round. Like he was landing some pretty heavy shots on the feet. I actually thought he should have kept it standing, or maybe just if you're gonna maybe just not trade in the middle, like just work him up against the cage and beat him up, because he was landing a lot of power shots against the cage. But like he would hit Adam with a hard one and then just like take him down and beat him up. So he did really look really good in the first round. And from what I remember, he was looking pretty good in the second. But man, Adam caught him with a beautiful omoplata. I can't remember how they got to the ground. All I remember is I don't remember what Arjan was trying to do. I just remember like Adam like he like pushed his head down with like his right hand, and then he lifted his leg like over his shoulder to like get the omoplata set up. If I'm even describing this right, my memory's a bit fuzzy. But like I remember watching the setup, and like Arjan's face was down. He couldn't even, I don't think he could even really see what was going on. Like once his face got pushed down, and then Adam sunk the omoplata in, and like once he like got up and put pressure on it, like he pretty much tapped immediately. It was a beautiful omoplata, great comeback win, because I think he was definitely losing that fight. But hey man, he took advantage of a quick opportunity, and it got him the W. So shout outs to Adam. I'm not sure how many omoplata submissions there have been in the UFC. I'm pretty sure it's not that many.
I think it's the second.
Yeah, so shout outs to him, and that was a way to have your wits about you, and you know, be ready for the opportunity when it presents itself.
Yeah,
but
like I'm gonna just call him Bueller, Arjan. There we go, Arjan. Arjan looked really great, great in heavyweight terms, I guess. Like he rocked Adam on the feet, took him down with ease. Did not pass though, which I thought was a mistake. Like you don't have to go all the way to side control, but like getting into like half guard, half guard, like always your best bet as a heavyweight. I like. You ever get the feeling like these big dudes in the gym just don't go through all the same like situations that other guys go through?
I mean, the smaller guys are probably not trying to roll with them or do all that, so.
yeah, you're limited by like level of athleticism of the one guy in your gym who weighs 250 pounds. But like the way Bueller was fighting that whole sequence where like Vizuric was like threw his leg over the top of his shoulder and then pushed it past his face, and like Bueller looked straight up like he had never seen that before. Like I'm just sitting here wondering, has he never had someone try to omoplata him in the gym? And I wouldn't be surprised if the answer is no. It just seems like there's like a gap in what happens when these guys train sometimes. Either that or he like was able to muscle out of it, and he wasn't able to muscle out of it here because Adam was just so damn long.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a really really dope finish.
Yeah.
So shout outs to Adam. But shout outs to Arjan too. Like anybody who does remotely good at heavyweight, I wouldn't mind seeing again. Like I said, he showed a lot of flashes of things that he can do that I think will work well for him in this division. Just maybe more experience. He'll get better with time, but pretty good, entertaining heavyweight fight. Next fight, I feel so bad about. I don't remember this, and I feel like this was a really good fight too. Alejandro Perez and Matthew Lopez. I don't remember this fight at all.
Perez stops Lopez in the second round. Okay, if I remember right, Lopez was outworking Perez for most of the first round. Managed to take him down, guys. I think this is the one where he got his back, I think he got his back in the first round twice, and Perez had to fight out rear naked choke attempts. The second one was mostly on the feet, and I don't remember the exact sequence that puts him down. Or no, the fight was stopped on the feet, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, he I think caught him with a knee.
It's just I'm gonna just watch it.
Yeah, I don't remember the last sequence. I'm pretty sure it was a knee going on somewhere in there.
Yeah. That's not based on anything. I vaguely remember the knee. But big win for Perez, who, how many in a row is that? 4?
Was Lopez still ranked?
No.
He wasn't.
I just don't think he is. He shouldn't be.
Yeah, that's 3 in a row for Perez, and that's pretty solid competition.
1 Jiri Alcantara.
And Sukumtat. So yeah, that's a good win on him.
Oh wait,
good finish.
Found it.
Oh.
I found it. Hey. It's a long one. The finish kind of just happens out of nowhere, if I remember right. Yeah, there's the knee, second knee, third knee, and then he follows it up with punches. Third knee.
Oh, were they against the cage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fourth knee, fifth knee, sixth knee. If the fight's still on. Right. Then he rocks him with a jab, rocks him with another jab. 1, 2. Body punch, uppercut, punch, and then the ref is like, no, that's enough. You're done.
Probably could have stopped it at the 5th knee.
But Lopez was hurt, but he wasn't he was still in the fight. He was still facing Perez. Still trying to move away. Keep reestablish himself.
So good win for Perez. Yeah, that's a pretty solid streak of pretty solid competition against him for him. And the last fight on the card, Luke Sanders and Patrick Williams. Another fight I remember being entertained by, but I don't remember the finer details. I want to say I feel like Luke was winning pretty handily in the first 2. I think Patrick rocked him in the third, or at least caught him with one good one that kind of made him back up a little bit.
Well, he was catching with the random counter every once in a while. That landed really, really hard. But this point pointed out to me more than the Sukumtat knockout. When Sanders tries to pressure, and he starts going into 1-2 punch mode. Dude overextends himself a lot, and he leaves himself open to counters. And Patrick Williams cracked him real hard a couple of times. But honestly, I think Williams could have won this fight if he was more active. But he's one of those dudes who's just so athletic that he's used to having to throw everything into what he does to knock people out.
Well, good win for Luke. Glad I can't remember. Did he win or lose his last?
He lost his last 2.
Oh yeah, he lost to Sukumtat.
I was just happy Becky Lynch was there.
I don't remember this.
She was at ring cage side.
Huh. Why did I click on Luke Sanders' record? Now I see Maximo Blanco's name, and now I'm just angry.
How is Maximo Blanco not in Rising yet? Or is he in jail?
I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. Who knows where Blanco is in the world right now. But yeah. So that was actually the entire card. You'll see on Fox 29, Poirier versus Gaethje. Really long card, but pretty good card overall though. Like you got some good finishes. You got to see some, like I said, young guys, old guys, tough dads who can knock you out at the barbecue. Or he lost, but he was there anyway. But and a very violent main event that lived up to the hype. So this is a pretty solid card overall. Definitely one to go back and watch, especially if you missed the Poirier Gaethje fight. Definitely go back and check that out. So yeah, it's pretty good card, pretty solid card. So what is it next week? We got Kevin Lee and Barbosa.
Mm-hmm. With
Is there
Swanson,
Bellator
Edgar
card?
too.
Oh, I don't know how I feel about them rebooking that fight.
I don't know how I feel about. Well, I know how I feel about it. I'd be fine with the rebooking if it didn't happen, like the 6-7 weeks after Frankie got his brain rattled.
Right. Yeah, like it seems like a pretty quick turnaround. But I mean, this card has some pretty decent fights. Like I said, main event: Lee Barboza, Edgar Swanson, Thiago Santos, and the GOAT David Branch. Brett Johns, Aljamain Sterling, got Jim Miller and Dan Hooker, Alex Garcia, who I think we mentioned earlier, is fighting Ryan LaFleur. Sire's on this card. Haven't seen him in a while. So yeah. Oh, Corey Anderson, Patrick Cummins. But yeah, like it looks like a pretty solid card. So that's going down. Bellator's next card, which I will be reluctant to watch.
That's not for a couple weeks. Which is the 27th.
It'll be here pretty quick.
And then we get 3 weeks off between UFC, not Swanson, Lee Barbosa, and UFC, whatever pay-per-view is next.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure there'll be more shenanigans to talk about. Oh, I did not know Pico was on this card. Oh no, Pico's on the Bader card. Hold on, I'm on the wrong one.
Hello?
Yeah, you can't hear me?
Hello?
All right, people, we are back again for the third time. This time my computer didn't quit. My internet connection quit. Go Comcast. So yeah, we pretty much covered the card, and then we got fights going down next week. We'll have a break, but there'll be Bellator. There'll be stuff going down in between for us still. So that was pretty much all of the fights and everything that went down this weekend. So as always, before we close out, parting shots and shout outs. So I have one shout out and one shot. So shout outs, just a quick note that I saw this morning. On this day, 71 years ago, April 15th, 1947, Jackie Robinson broke down the color barrier, becoming the first African American to play in Major League Baseball. So, shout outs to him. And parting shot. Parting shot goes to an article that I saw. I think I read this morning, and it was it rose an eyebrow, to say the least. So my parting shot goes to Low Kick MMA. The writer is Matt McNulty, and the article is entitled 8 UFC Hype Trains Who Fizzled Out Quick. And I had to throw a shot at this article because Mr. McNulty, no, nothing personal, but I have to call shenanigans on some of these names. So real quick, I'm going to run down the list. So this is the list, according to this article, of 8 UFC hype trains that fizzled out quick. All right, so coming in at number 8, we got Sage Northcutt. Number 7, Houston Alexander. Number 6, Francis Ngannou. Number 5, Uriah Hall. Number 4, Mike Perry. Number 3, Volkan Ozdemir. Number 2, Paige Van Zandt. Number 1, Ronda Rousey. So, really the only name on this list that I can, you know what, I'm gonna be generous. The only name I can kind of agree with on this list, maybe I'll say wholeheartedly, is Uriah Hall. I'll be generous and I'll give you Paige Van Zandt. I might even be generous and give you Sage Northcutt. But even that's being generous. I don't remember enough of Houston Alexander's career to care. No disrespect to him. I don't know what your definition of a hype train, or not even hype train. Just I don't know what your definition of fizzling out is. I wasn't even a Ronda fan. I did not like Ronda much at all, to be honest. Ronda did not fizzle out quick. Like, Ronda was on top. She was the best bantamweight on earth. Like, since her Strikeforce days and well into her UFC days until she met Holly Holm. And sure, you can say, like, after the Holm fight, she went quiet, came back, got blasted by Nunes. So, I mean, yeah, her fall, you know, the fall was pretty vicious. But I can't say, like, her hype train fizzled out when you ruled the division for the entire time, pretty much, until your first loss. I don't think that counts as a hype train fizzling out when you dominated for so long. Oezdemir, definitely shenanigans on this. When Oezdemir was sleeping everybody until he got a title shot, and he was beating top 10 opponents. So I gotta call shenanigans on that. And he's still around. So how can we say he fizzled out when he's still active and he's still fighting? And the way 205 works, he's
Just not in Chile.
right, just not in Chile. But he's still around and still within the mix of a 205 title shot. With the way that division works, you only need a few wins and you're right back up there. So shenanigans on that. I know I said I was going to be generous and give you Paige Van Zandt, but I'm going to have to also call shenanigans on here because if I remember correctly in the article, you said that she's not the world beater we thought she would be. Now, maybe it's just me. I never looked at Paige Van Zandt as a world beater. I understood why they were hyping her, you know, pretty face, a talented fighter, not the best, but, you know, still talented. I get it. If she wins a few fights, this is definitely somebody you can see the machine pushing behind and getting behind. But I don't, maybe it's just personal on my end, never saw Paige Van Zandt as a world beater. And I think within her last few fights, it's pretty much been confirmed that she's not a world beater. Definitely got to call shenanigans on Francis Ngannou when he was decapitating everybody and his only loss, his only UFC loss, is to one of the best heavyweights of all time. I don't think that constitutes saying that your hype train fizzled out. Like, are we
Just like the point that also he but like really also went to decision with Stipe, and then hasn't had like he since he lost to DDS.
Right. So it's like I don't like that Ngannou is a reach of epic proportions. Mike Perry, I don't know, maybe a lot of people thought he was. I never thought Mike Perry was going to win, especially because he wasn't going to win. Like, he wasn't going to get a title anytime soon because of the way he fights. And I don't think he seems like he's going to adjust his fighting style. Like, to a lesser degree, he takes the Gaethje approach of kill or be killed. But I don't think he has as many tools as Gaethje does, which makes it more the reason why I never saw him as, you know, I don't know, maybe I kind of get, I think even that one's a bit of a reach. So I kind of get what you're going with there. People were behind him. Everybody liked him because he was knocking everybody out. But, yeah, some of these were reaches, man. These were far reaches. If there were some names who should have been on this list, Eric Silva, that's a hype train that definitely fizzled out. We talked extensively before recording. It pains me to say this. Brandon Vera would probably be like number one on that list of hype trains that like fizzled out, even though he's a champion and won. But if anybody remembers the height of his UFC career, like this guy was supposed to be the next. Like he was gonna be that dude. Like I still vividly remember him beating the crap out of Frank Mir, and I was like, oh man, this guy is he's just gonna kill everybody, and that didn't happen. Shout outs to God, I can't remember the other. There was another article I found that was the same concept as this, but it was written back in 2012 that I think had a lot better names on it. Like I said, names like Eric Silva, Brandon Vera, Tatsu Hioki. Once upon a time they had Dustin Poirier, but he's kind of erased that. He's turned his entire career around. Yeah, man. This article was a reach. So, shout to you, sir, man. Shot to you, sir. You're reaching on some of these. there were a lot of Fantastic Four reaches on this, man. Ronda Rousey, there's no way. Like I said, I'm not even a Ronda fan. I did not really like Ronda at all. That's not a hype train that fizzled out. Like, yeah, she got head kicked into oblivion, but that doesn't erase for how long that she was on top and was like pretty unbeatable and fought all of the top competition that was available. So those are my parting shots and shout outs.
Shout out to Ryota Murata, who defended his middleweight title over in boxing, knocked out some dude, Emmanuel Blandamora, in like how many rounds was it? Like 8. Probably gonna fight Billy Joe Saunders before if he wins that. I see him fighting Canelo or Golovkin eventually, because he seems like the type that wants. And as to Amanda Serrano, who made her MMA debut this past Friday for on Univision with Combate Americas. She didn't lose, she didn't win. She fought to a draw. She won the first 2 rounds and then got taken down the third and kind of got beat on for a 10-8. So back to the drawing board. Not bad, because I think she started training like 7 months ago. So not bad. All things considered. Shouts to Germany and Egypt apparently, because they're holding us down, and
Right. Hey, man.
Germany, the country with no MMA.
Hey, they got to get the news somewhere.
Or I should say no televised MMA. Guys, drop us like an email or something. I want to know how and why you're listening to this podcast.
Yeah, because like I actually saw, I don't remember. Well, I'm not gonna put your full government name out there. We got a new like on the page from somebody who was from like New Zealand or the Netherlands. I'm getting my places mixed up, but yeah, I saw that last night. I was like, that was interesting. Got some overseas love going on. So yeah, man, if you're from like Cairo, Egypt, or one of these places, and then Germany, but really wherever, man, send some emails, drop a comment on the Facebook page. Send us in some questions, man. Dojotalkpodcast@yahoo.com. Send us some questions. We can answer you on the show. I can't remember the guy's name because I don't have the Tumblr app on my phone, so I miss a lot of notifications. But I saw somebody had tagged us and asked us a question about was it Joe Lozon?
Oh, that was right. I'll pull it up right now because I know I know who he is. Is Garbanza.
Yeah, shout out to you, sir. Actually, what was the question? We can. I know you answered it, but once we got the question, we can give an answer.
His question was, do you think Joe Lozon would make for a good talent scout? Still employed by UFC, but he doesn't have to take any more damage. And the second question was, do you think No Lineal fighters would have a better more fan support if they spoke more English?
Well, to answer both, yeah, I think Lozon will excel at anything he does outside of the cage if it's still, MMA related. But yeah, I could definitely see him being a talent scout. I mean, this is a guy who's he's fought the who's who. The man has like 80 performance bonuses. I'm pretty sure he has a good idea of, like what it takes to make it to that next level. If guys are looking to come up from smaller promotions to the UFC, I'm pretty sure he'll be able to pick those guys out. So yeah, I think that would definitely be a good look for him. So yeah, I would definitely say yeah, Lozon would definitely be pretty good at that. And for the second question in regards to Nova Uniao, for me, I don't really care about this, but I feel like not even just for fighters at Nova Uniao, I feel like it's almost a foreigner thing in general. That for I'm not gonna say for whatever reason. Like I guess I get it, but for me, I don't really care about your language barrier. As long as you got a translator, I'll figure out what you're talking about. But I guess to make it in the States and become a star over here, yeah, you probably, having some kind of hold of the English language would probably play pretty good into your favor. Um, I guess in regards to like fighters from Brazil and Nova União, like I've always been puzzled at how Aldo wasn't like a mega star in his reign, but he was a guy who didn't. I can't even say he didn't speak much English. I feel like he just didn't really talk much at all. Like Aldo barely spoke Portuguese. Like he just didn't really talk. He came in the cage, he leg kicked you to oblivion, he beat the crap out of you, and he went on about his day. So yeah, I guess yeah, the language barrier, especially in the States, a lot of people for whatever reason like it bothers them when people aren't able to speak English very well, and for whatever reason they let that play into why they root or don't root for them. I don't get it, but
I think it's an empathy thing. Like guys like Anderson Silva and Junior Dos Santos, for example. Like when you hear them speak, you get an idea of what their personalities are.
yeah.
And the sport is very personality driven. Um, JDS sounds like the most like lovable guy on the planet. In his semi-broken English, he actually speaks English really well. I'm talking about like when he first started out trying to learn the language. If people like charming, like broken English speaking like people, like look at Golovkin. Like the dude's most famous quote is like he's gonna make them all good boys. Like there's something to be said for like being that dude,
Yeah.
So like yeah, I absolutely. I think the Nova and Yao guys would probably have more success in the U.S. And build more of a fan base if they spoke some type of English. But the barrier doesn't have to be like there are no definitives. You know what I mean? When you're talking being a star, like you got all the intangibles and still just not cross over for whatever reason. This just reminded me of something though. I have one more shout out.
Yep.
Francisco Vargas. I'm not sure if you saw it or not. Did you see him knock out Rod Salka?
Oh, was that the guy who wore the Trump shorts?
Yes.
Oh yeah, get him out of here. Get him out of here. Clean him up.
So for those who don't know, Rod Salka, famous for being gifted a title fight against Danny Garcia, in which he got knocked the fuck out in really lopsided, shouldn't be made type of fight. Well, I guess getting big fights in boxing is good for getting more big fights in boxing because he got another TV fight. Francisco Vargas, and in the spirit of this American versus Mexican showdown, he decided to wear his America First wall shorts with like the American style bricks on his American flag colored bricks on his shorts. The fight did not go well for him. Got the fuck out.
The wall will not protect you from them hands, bro.
I feel like this go two ways for Ratsuka. He can continue being like the guy promoters call to get like to get Mexican fighters to fight, so they could beat him up, or he's just never gonna get another TV fight ever again.
Oh.
Because the people who are tuning for boxing matches are old black dudes and Mexicans. Like that is like dead ass. That is boxing's primary fan base. If YouTube is anything to tell them, like you can't type in a fighter's name without like 20,000 different not elderly but like 40, 50-year-old black dudes talking about some dude fighting in like Delaware, like on the third fight on the prelims. So
Oh,
like
man.
yeah, these are the dudes holding it down. So like I say go with the gimmick. Just have Ratsuka keep fighting Mexican.
Oh boy, I would pay to be a fly on the wall in that locker room. After you,
Mm-hmm.
boy, you got cleaned up. Get him out of here.
See, now I'm wondering if this was just like a promotional stunt.
I mean,
Either way, it worked because that
yeah.
shit was all over the place.
Oh yeah, it was awesome to watch. It was great to watch. Yeah, man. Yeah, that wall will not protect you, bro. Them hands are coming. You getting out of here.
It's a really shitty wall.
He laid him out next to the uncle that Timbo knocked out at the barbecue. Y'all can go sit on the same bench together. Let's go sit. Let's go sit in the corner with your little potato salad. Think about what you've been doing wrong with your life. But
I mean,
oh man, that was an awesome moment. He had to have felt. I didn't watch the post fight or anything. I literally only saw like the highlight of the knockout. I gotta imagine maybe he wasn't like gloating about it, in his post fight, but he had to have felt so good inside after that. Like you gotta be on cloud nine after that. Oh man, but
dude's a hero.
right, yeah, like that's a moment. No matter what happens for the rest of his career, you can hang your hat on that one moment and be proud of what you've accomplished. Like that's a story for the ages. Oh man, but yeah, that's
Oh, well, his in-ring attire has since garnered widespread attention, including Deadspin, The Washington Post, Newsweek, The Irish Independent, and Univision.
oh man.
Hold up, wait. In addition to being a pro boxer, Salka ran as a Republican for a Pennsylvania House of Representatives in 2016, but lost to incumbent Bill Quartz
Whew. You can't run no
by
more, man.
by a near 2-1 voting margin.
Mm. You can't run no more, man. You how they gonna back you up? And you can't even represent the wall.
He's gonna spin it. He's gonna be like, you see all these Mexicans, they're so violent. And here hitting us hard working blue collar types in the face. I just wanted to be champion.
Spin it to the meanest sob story. Oh man, that is great. That might be like the best piece of combat sports news that has happened in quite some time. Oh man, if I could remember, I would definitely leave a link to that down below so you guys can check that out. But that's pretty much it for this episode of the Dojo Talk podcast. As always, you can listen to us on YouTube, SoundCloud, Google Play, iTunes. If you're on iTunes, please rate and subscribe. You can catch us on Facebook at the Dojo Talk Podcast Facebook page. Send questions to dojotalkpodcast@yahoo.com. And you can follow me on Twitter at Serial Sensei. So shout outs to you guys for listening. Shout outs to you guys from sharing. Shout outs to the Tumblr fan base. Appreciate you guys. And until next time, as always, when people are being punched and or kicked in the face, we will be there to talk about it. And hopefully we catch you guys soon. Peace.